Welcome to Tech Brothers with Amir. In this video, we are going to learn how to upgrade Postgres 14 or any old version, maybe Postgres 12 or 11 or 13 to the Postgres 15. Or doesn't have to be Postgres 15. It can be like, okay, if you're moving between Postgres 12 to 13, that's also doable. Postgres 11 to 15 or something like that as well. So we will use the database migration job in this case to upgrade that one. So this is going to be replicating all the data from our source to the destination, and we are going to do continuous replication, and then if we want to promote that as a new instance, so we can perform that as well. So let's go ahead and take a look on all those steps. So first of all, what I have here, I have a PG14, that's my Enterprise Plus edition, and I am connected to this instance by using Azure Data Studio. So that's the tool I'm using. You can use PG admin as well. So here you see that I have this is my IP of the Postgres instance that I just showed you, and there are some databases we have here. We have System Database Cloud SQL Admin or Postgres, and then I have a test database. Now in the test database, I have created a couple of schemas such as a product and sale, and in each of them I have created a one table. So if you want to take a look, you can take a look. This is a product table, has some records, and then we have sale table here, and I have a few records in there as well. Now let's go ahead and work on our database migration job and see how we can upgrade this one. Let me take you back here, and now what we are gonna do, we are gonna go to the migration data here, or you can search for database migration here. So if you will say database migration, and it's gonna bring you this database migration tab. So go ahead and click there, and now we will follow the instructions step by step and go from there. Okay, our tab is open, and we can go ahead and say create migration job here, and we will go through each of the steps from here. Somehow it's taking a little bit of time, I don't know why, but anyways, we are going to call this migration job. I'm going to call it DMS and say job. That's the name I gave. You can give any name what you want, and here you will be selecting a source database engine. So there are plenty of options available for you. In our case, as you know that our Postgres is on Cloud SQL, on GCP we are going to select Cloud SQL for Postgres, and here you will select the destination database engine. You can select Cloud SQL Postgres, or you can do LOADB for Postgres. In my case, I'm going to keep the both to the Postgres. Here is your destination region. If you want to change the region, you can select the region where you would like to create your destination. I'm going to go with US Central 1, and I'm going to do the real-time synchronization of source and destination. So this is going to be continuous. Now we are going to go and take a look on different requirements first, or prerequisites. So first of all is Postgres. Open this one and take a look. So read this entire document and see if it fits with your source and destination. It supports all those RDS and Aurora and Cloud SQL instances. So right there. And then if you need further information, so it is saying that source instance configuration. Your source instance must include Postgres database. It should be there. If you don't have it, then create it. And the PG logical should be library must be installed on source and include in the shared preload libraries. And that's what we need to do. There are a couple of things I'm going to do before I go right there. Let me open a new tab here, and we perform some enabling those flags. Click here on the menu, and we are going to go to the SQL, and in the SQL we are going to perform some enabling the flags. Go to the instance, and here we go to the edit. Now we are going to go further down here and go to the flags. In the flags, add a flag here. So the flag is going to be logical, search for logical, and it says that enable PG logical. That's one of the things we want to do. Hit done here, and add one more flag here called decoding. Okay, so PG logical decoding, that has to be enabled as well. So now these two flags are enabled, and hit save. So it's asking, hey, you have to restart. So I'm gonna hit save and restart the instance. So that's one of the things you want to make sure you're doing some like in maintenance window and all that, because it does require you to restart your SQL Cloud SQL instance. This probably take a couple of minutes before the instance is restarted. Okay, fine, it came quickly. Now we are all good here. We are going to go back to our job here, and in the job what we are going to see, it is telling us, hey, you need to run these scripts. So first of all, we need to run this script on each of the database. So see right there, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go right here. I'm going to refresh my connection, and then I have to run this on everything. So I'm going to go to the PG Postgres first, open a new query, and then run this script. The same script I have to run on the test as well. So I'm going to select the test database here and then execute. So that was our first step is done. Now we are going to go back to our portal here, and these all the scripts we have to run from till here. We can ignore this one because our source is not RDS. So if your source is RDS, then you have to do all all of them. So anyways, I'm going to copy one at a time, and then we'll make some changes. So I'm going to copy, go back to my SQL here, and just I'm going to paste right there. Now we second step, copy and go back here, then go for the next. Okay, and there are a couple more. So we are done with this. Then we are gonna do this one, and then we have the last one. So we don't need this one, because we are on Cloud SQL. We are not using RDS instance. So I'm gonna go back here and paste it there. Okay, now what we need to do here, this is very important. This has to run on each of the schema. So that's why in the test, if you remember, I have two schemas created so I can show you, because it has to run on each of the schema. First of all, we are going to run this script in Postgres as well. So extension is created, we can remove that script, and now see, it is asking schema. In the Postgres database, we have only public schema. So we are going to go ahead and run this one on public. So I'm going to this is my user. I'm using Postgres user. You can use any user. You can create a new user and provide that information. So in my case, it is a Postgres user. So I'm going to go ahead and say, let me make a copy of this one actually. And in the notepad, I'm just going to paste it there. Okay, so we are searching for user and Postgres SQL. That's my username. Now, as I said that you can have any user, and then you will be providing these information permissions. In the schema, in the Postgres database, what we have a schema name called public. So that's what we need to do. So Control H, and then we have a public. Here, replace that. All done. Now here what I need to do, I'm going to go ahead in the Postgres and execute. So that part is done, and then we will be going to our test database. So in the test, I have to run the same script. I'm going to do Control Z, and now we will select the test database here. And every time I'm going to run, remember I have to run on all the schemas here. So actually, first of all, I could have just run on public and Control H and public. So now I will run this on public schema in the test. My next schema is product and sale. So I'm going to do Control Z here, and then replace the schema with the product, and then replace it, execute. So again and again, I'm telling you guys, this is very important because you need to run on each schema. So this permission has to be done on each schema, otherwise you're going to keep getting errors. So we have provided the permission on all these three schemas in the test database: public, product, and sale. Same way we have provided the permission by using this script on the Postgres database. What I will do, I will put this script in the description as well, so you can copy and just find your username, replace, and also every time you can change this schema with the actual schema name and run it. So we will do that as well. So we are all done with the permissions now, and our next step is going to configure our job. You have connectivity, and you can connect by using IP allow list, or by the reverse SSH tunnel, or VPC pairing, and all that. So these are different options available for you. We are going to use the allow IP. So now we save and continue, and wait for the next step, where we are going to define our source. So it is asking, hey, what is your source? Create a connection to the source prof, and we call it a connection profile. Now we are going to call it PG14, and I'm going to call it source. So that tells like, hey, this is my instance and this is source. Now I'm going to select from the drop down the instance, so PG14, and this is the IP of that, and the port. Now I can go ahead and provide my user, and you guys know that I'm using Postgres user. So if you're using different user, provide that. Here you will be providing the password, and now you're all set here. And next is click on secure your connection, and here provide if you're using any encryption. So see right here, I'm selecting none. In cases, let's say you have this, if you go to connections here on your Cloud SQL instance, and then you have use maybe enable the SSL. So that's one of the thing. If you go to security here. Okay, so allow only SSS connection. Some people have that enabled. Now in that case, what you need to do, you need to download the certificates and key and upload them. So if you have SSL enabled, so you have to select that part here. So in this case, you will be selecting a server client, and once you do that, it's going to ask you, hey, upload your certificate and client certificate, server certificate, and the key. So that's what you will be doing. Otherwise, you will be keep getting error, and it will be keep failing. In my case, SSL connections are not required always, so I can choose a none. Now with the connectivity method, we are going to go ahead and say allow public IP. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to run the test. Okay, great. Our test has run successfully, and we are all good. We are going to hit create button here, and now it's going to create our profile. Our profile has created. It is pointing to our source IP. This is our source, this is port, this is a user, and encryption type none, and we are connecting by using a public IP. Now we are going to go ahead and save and continue here. And now this is the point where we have to select our destination. Provide the password, and now what you need to do here, you can select the version of a database. In my case, I'm going to go to the Postgres 15. You have other options as well, and simply you can go ahead Enterprise Plus or Enterprise is your choice. You know, Enterprise Plus is a little expensive, but I'm just going to go ahead and go with this one for demo, and we go from there. So right here, this is add 2 vCPUs, 16 GB. That's fine with me, and you can go ahead and 10 GB SSD is fine. And one more thing, if you need to connect to that destination by your public IP, you can add that here. So I'm going to go ahead and add my IP here. After adding my IP here, I'm going to go ahead and hit done, and then I'm going to go further down here and create and continue. So it's going to create a destination, and then it will start replicating the data from our source. Now in the destination, define connectivity method. So we are going to go with the say allow IP allow list. So it's going to give us a couple of IPs that we have to add to the source. So then our destination and source will be able to communicate. Okay, we have these IPs from our destination, ongoing IPs. Those we need to copy one by one and go back to our source and add them. So here I'm going to go to, let's say if I'm here on my instance, and then I'm going to click on this, my source instance, and then we were going to add these IPs. Go to connections here, and in the connections go to security, and then go to networking, and then we are going to add these IPs. So these two IPs, if you see, these are from my last experiment. I'm going to go ahead and actually delete these. We don't need them. And then I'm going to add a new IP. And what I'm going to call it the demo DMS1. And then I'm going to paste that IP, first one, done. And then I'm going to go add another IP here. So let's call it demo DMS1, or actually 2, and going to bring the second IP from here, copy and put in the source. So we are allowing to communicate our destination with our source by adding these IPs. Okay, so hit save button, and it should be saved pretty soon. And now we go back here, and we can do save and continue. One of the steps is very important here. I will say always instead of creating and starting a job, always test your job. Because once you test it, you might see some error with permissions or connectivity and all that, and you can fix them, and then you can test it again and create your job. So in our case, we can see that it is completed with success, no problem at all, and we are going to go ahead and create and start job. So we are going to create and start job here. It's going to take a moment to do that. So our DMS job has been created and running just fine. You can click right there, and now you have a few of options here. Now you can stop the instance, you can promote, and you can delete and view logs and all that, and it's all good. We are going to go ahead and promote it, and then what it's going to do is promote disconnects the source from the destination, and promotes the destination to be a writable instance. So that's what it's going to do. So we are going to go ahead and click on promote, and it's promoting right now. If I will go to the here in the SQL tab, I'm gonna see right here. See, it was under the external primary first, but now it's coming as a standalone instance. So you can see right there. So it's gonna take just few seconds, and it should be done. Finally, our instance is promoted as standalone, and now we can click right there, and we should be able to see the databases test and all that. So you can connect to this instance, and you can go from there, and the tables and everything should be populated. You can see we have test database here, and once we connect to this one, we will see the same information what we see on the source side. Now, a few more things you can do on the cleanup side here in the jobs. You can go ahead and let me click right there, and you have this job here, and it's completed. We can right click here and say delete, and just delete that. So it's gonna clean up, and we can also delete the profile if you want, so that is also not needed anymore. We can simply delete the profile, and we can go right here, and also we can delete this cloud external primary as well. So we can right here, and gonna go ahead and delete. So just copy this, and this is how you will upgrade your Postgres from old version to the new version. And see right there was 14, and then we use the DMS to create a new instance, and create upgrade it to the Postgres 15. I thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel, and I will see you guys in next video.